All right, still live.
All right, we're good. All right, welcome. We're on the road again. We took last week off, but today, episode 32, Retro Bar Podcast, right here in the bar room with the brewery behind us, Rural City Brewery.
Reamstown?
Reamstown, Pennsylvania.
Tallest building in Reamstown.
Tallest building in Reamstown.
I just looked up, I have a Reamstown history book at home, and this used to be Lesher's Hardware.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a picture of it on my phone, but I just took it out of this book I had.
Well, when you do all the editing, you can just throw it up on the screen.
Yeah. No, there is no editing. You screw up, it's screw up. So anyway, we are here with, I'm assuming you're both co-owners?
So I'm James,
Okay.
and my brother Ben is back brewing right now.
Yeah, they got an issue back there.
We are both the owners, and then Tony is our brother-in-law.
Okay.
He's our general manager.
All right.
General manager. Yeah, if we didn't have an issue, it wouldn't be a brewery.
Right. Right. Yes. If nothing ever goes wrong, it's only because you're not doing it.
That's right.
So you guys, you've been here about a year.
Almost a year in November.
I sort of. I think I might have been here. I might have been here your very first night. I don't know. I haven't been in here a ton. I'll admit that. But we do get in every now and then. But I do think I was nosy enough to get here. Well, I was also at Portland the very first day they opened.
Nice.
And and I don't get in there a whole lot either. But
that first night, all we did was take out beers. We did packaged. We did growlers. We did. I think we had a couple bags of chips in the bar, per required by law.
Right. Yeah.
But it was all. We did tailgate meeting and growlers to go. We had 4 beers on tap. It was wild. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, but hey, you got to start somewhere. And well, like apparently everywhere has issues. You still have staff issues. So everywhere does just about. I mean, fortunate few that have a steady staff or not many.
Not been able to hold that even.
Oh, right, because nowadays, there's so many jobs out there for that type of person that, they have one bad day and it's screwed. They offered me a little more.
Yeah, well, you can give that out to your barmaid, because every time I've been here, she's been here, and she's awesome.
She shows up for work, and
That's right. Yeah, we show up for work.
so So, as far as the brewing part of this goes, you and your brother, like everybody else that starts with these, did home brewing?
Yeah, we did homebrew for, it was like 15 years that I started, and then Ben jumped in, had some of our other brothers jump in. Tony jumped in, we did a couple brews at his house. And then I was on the road a lot with my previous job, and that's when Ben and I decided we want to take it to the next level. And both got jobs at other breweries, so we can get the professional side of brewing.
Okay, well, and that I got to say that's a pretty wise move.
Yeah. I really want to hand it to the brothers for making that decision, because there's a lot of brewers out there. They do home brew for a while, and they're like, oh wait, I can do this, and they jump right in. And some of the beer is so, and they make a mistake, and they got to dump all that beer.
Right.
But James and Ben, because of their patience, going out and getting professional jobs as brewers and doing it for a couple of years, not a couple of weeks, they really, there's not a style that they can't knock out of the park.
Right.
Both of them coming together, really works out well, and it's been good. I mean, you look at our menu, it's got a little bit of everything on there, from stouts and sours and like everything, blonde stout. It's been great. It's been exciting to be part of it. And in the beginning, I was like, all right, I guess this is gonna work. But the community comes in and they're like, no, this beer's great, this beer's great, this beer's great, this beer's great, and that's I got to hand it to them. They've been doing a great job.
I'm just gonna let Tony keep talking. I can go away.
You're right there.
So background to okay, when things are running smooth, life is great.
Right.
Yeah. That's when the pressure's on, the pressure's on. Well, and that's how quickly can you fix whatever is going on, whether it be, staffing, you said yourself, you got an issue, you got to step in and take over a position that you don't normally do, because it just happens.
It's screwed up.
This is actually a great example. Our kettle pump went So, well, it didn't go. I just know that's not working. I hope it didn't go. But that was it couldn't let us, it would not allow us to transfer our mash over. Our mash over, so if we couldn't quickly hook up another pump and get it going, we would have lost a whole batch of beer. And of course, it's a big beer, it takes a village. So that's a lot of grain that's in there right now, a lot of poundage.
Yeah.
That's just an example of what.
Now, how long, and we were talking amongst ourselves over there while you guys were working on that. Like if, in an incident, what just happened there, how long would you have to remedy that problem before you did lose that whole thing? Hours, days?
Good question. No, I mean, minutes, hour, maybe?
So if it just sits there idle for however long, a very short period of time.
Right.
Is enough to cause it to go bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can have issues right away. I mean,
Well, what if what just happened over there would have happened in the middle of the night?
Well, usually we don't have anything going overnight, so that wouldn't be a huge issue.
Okay.
If we have a sour going, a kettle sour, and we have the impeller going and it's dropping the pH, that would be an issue because that has to stay at a constant 110 degrees throughout the night.
Okay.
So that would be an issue. You probably use that batching.
I mean, I'm not trying to make you lose sleep now.
I lose sleep every night. Yeah.
And all your beers that you brew are brewed right here. You don't have like an off-site brewing place.
No, right back there,
Okay.
what Ben's doing, that's the whole
that's
shebang.
that's the whole thing. Okay.
Now, the tanks out front.
Yeah.
That they can show, or what,
No.
do they use that also?
No,
Full operation.
we actually just pulled the beer out of that center one, our Due West West Coast IPA. It just got transferred yesterday. The 230s, I'm actually working in the basement on a couple things with those to get those back into working order. But yeah, they're part of the whole shebang.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you might, if you're gonna have ornaments, they might as well work.
No, exactly.
They're taking up space, it's.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, they are big tanks.
So you guys, well, any one of you, before you got into brewing, even at home, like what'd you do? What's your life?
Where are you from?
Where are you from?
So we grew up, actually all of us kind of grew up outside of Allentown. We grew up in Bangor. Yeah. I grew up in Bangor up in the woods.
Okay.
And then graduated, went to Millersville.
Oh, so that's sort of what brought you here.
Yeah. We had a family down that actually moved down here too. So we went to Millersville. My wife went to York. And then we moved to Philly for a little bit. And then back out to Lancaster County. And I've stayed here since then. So it's been since I graduated in Millersville. So,
Okay, all right. What was your degree in?
archaeology.
Oh.
So did that for about 10
How'd that
years.
work out for you?
Yeah, that's great. Got it, worked at it for 10 years, paid off my school loans, and then,
Well, that's
paid much less.
that's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sort of very interested. I mean, I never went to school for archaeology, but even as a kid, I like to look around and dig stuff up. And as an adult, I haven't done it for a couple of years now, but I did a lot of metal.
Okay.
And so that sort of intrigued me. But I know another gentleman, and maybe you know him. He's local antique guy, Mike Middleton.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Has a degree in archaeology.
Yeah,
But he, much like you, apparently jobs are not like either they're not around or they don't pay very much.
You don't get paid much. It's a lot of time on the road, and I think it's 2% of archaeologists actually get full-time gigs.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to be within that 2%.
Oh, really?
So
So where were you working? For that full-time gig, what gigs did you do? Like where were you?
I was all the way out to Illinois. I was down to North Carolina, South Carolina. We had. I don't think I never got down to Florida, but I have friends that were down to Florida, all the way up to Vermont.
We got
New York.
past in Florida.
Yeah, well, I was in Bermuda, but that was with Millersville, so that was awesome.
And it was all like Indian type gigs?
I did a lot of historic, so Millersville was a lot of historic archaeology, so colonial era.
Okay.
And then once you start getting out into the field doing CRM work, it's mostly prehistoric you end up doing.
Okay. Did you ever, like, what's the neatest thing you personally ever found?
Neatest thing. Well, I have found gold. Human bones.
Like you found gold as buried treasure.
It was a gold coin that we were digging
Okay.
in Philadelphia, actually. I found a
Okay.
gold coin there. I was digging some bodies up in Buffalo, New York, and found a gold pin that was a diaper pin.
Oh.
Put a diaper pin in. So it was a small child, but that was probably the coolest job I ever did. Ended up being 280 bodies that we exhumed and repatriated.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Wow.
Lots of cool stuff.
We did have Elizabeth on from the Epic Quiz, when she talked about the exhumed
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
perspective the state is, and how interesting what they find.
Yeah.
In a 1734 area.
Yeah.
How much rice will be.
I mean, I was lucky enough to even dig in Lancaster City too, where the old federal tap was, so it was Railroad Transit Authority. Did a really cool dig there, found an old hotel, an old gunsmith shop, an old redware kiln, like so lots of cool stuff,
Yeah.
old train tracks.
Something with glasses. I heard glasses.
No, a lacquer beer bottle.
Oh.
That's a better class.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you see clear.
Right, yeah. No undersea treasures, like no boats.
I mean, we had plenty of times where the site would get filled or flooded, and we'd have to pump out the water.
Okay, but
no
you never
underwater
go
archaeology,
out.
that's a whole nother level that
Okay.
would be really cool, but now I mean.
That's a sort of a neat career, like not a real well-paying career, I guess. I mean, maybe in
You
your
survived.
Okay, well, that's right. But it'd be, but it'd be a neat thing to, after you make the millions here, fall back on and do as a hobby as opposed to a living. That's,
Yeah, you know what? Brewing pays less than archaeologists. So
Oh, okay, wow. You gotta work on that.
Yeah, right?
How about you? You're from the same area?
Yeah, we're from the same area. My background is a little bit of a gypsy background. I moved around quite a bit. Lived all over Pennsylvania. Actually, when I was in the Marine Corps, I lived out in Hawaii for a while. Came back home and decided to run out to Arizona for a while. And finally came back here to kind of settle down. And in the Marine Corps, I worked on helicopters. I've also been in banking and a financial advisor for a minute. I was a roofer. Like I've done it all.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Well, no, it's been great. It's been great because a lot of those experiences and jobs had to do with management.
Yeah.
So when I finally came here, being a general manager, you have to be pretty flexible and.
Know a little bit about everything.
A little bit about it.
That helicopter training is coming.
That is really
So he ought to be able to fix your if he wanted to.
I was out there tending to the hammer.
Yeah, the propeller on a helicopter is slightly different than the propeller.
It's the same thing.
But yeah, they spin.
They both-
The motor runs.
It makes the world go round.
But it's been good, and the timing almost worked out like perfectly, and the brothers said, hey, I think it's time to pull the trigger on this. I was about to change, careers, and I was like, all right, let's jump in here and make this happen. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a roller coaster, ups and downs. And, sometimes the equipment works, sometimes it doesn't. But for me, I love the challenge of making the adjustment like on the fly. Like, all right, let's fix this. Let's keep going. So it's nice. I can't sit at a desk all day. It drives me nuts. But run around here, it's been a good experience and keeps me on my toes. Literally, I think last Saturday I had like 18,000 steps. So it's good. It's great. And then after being next to the brothers for so many years. I started dating their sister 20 years ago.
We met at a party.
We did.
Oh, so you were friends with them before you got married to their sister, not the other way around. In other words, you knew them before you got married, not you got married and then got divorced.
So they always tell you, don't go to business with your family and stuff like that. But we've been around these guys and we've been had our difference of opinions, and it's still been very amicable. Like everybody's been happy. So that's why when it came to work with the business. So I was like, you know, even on our worst day, I can still be friends with these guys. So let's go do this. You know? And it's been great because we know that we always have each other's back, even if I don't see them. Like I don't ever have to guess, like, oh, look, are you working with them?
Well, right, yeah, well, and hopefully,
You know.
Right.
I mean, they're invested in this too, you know, if they're not working, then,
No, I don't, you know, there's never a moment that goes by that I don't feel like things are even, like, we all work very hard, and like yesterday, we were split 3 ways, but I knew that they were doing what they needed to
Right,
get things done, and vice versa,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
So you, when you decided to go all in and you're gonna take this from home brewing to this,
Yeah.
you ended up here because this is where you wanted to be, or because this building was available?
So we actually got into professional brewing after about 3-year mark. That's when we kind of got more focused on exactly what we wanted to do, how big of a system we wanted. We went through SCORE, which is Lancaster, Lebanon County. It's a retired business folk that help you create your business plans, help you create your business. So we did that, built our business plan for, it almost took 2 years to do that completely. And then we decided we'd start looking for properties during the pandemic. We stopped in here for a beer, talked to the owners. And,
So it was still, you were in this building before it had shut down?
Yeah. I was here with I came in here with my wife. We used to ride our bikes from Denver.
Oh, okay.
When Tom and Amy had
Where
it.
you live in Denver now?
No, not anymore.
That's where I grew up.
Too. Stopped in here when the owners after Tom and Amy had it, and had a beer, started talking to them, you know, we're looking for a spot. They said, oh, we're looking to get out of this spot. So kind of slid in there and, you know, made it work with the help of a lot of people. And here we are. I mean, I always loved this building, so this is kind of dream come true. You know, it met my list of things I wanted.
Right.
And so we're here.
Well, and you know, I would assume for the most part, it wasn't an issue where you had to do a lot of work before you could open the doors.
No, it was nice. I mean, we definitely, we brightened up, you know, painted everything.
Right. But it was ready to roll. It wasn't like you had to invest $1 million.
We didn't have to get a brewery set up. You know?
Yeah.
That's what we were looking at doing, actually. And so this was, you know, God said.
I mean, it's great. I mean, basically a turnkey operation. I mean, we cleaned things up a little bit and you know, painted things, but then still we got right in here and started making great beer, pulling people in, and it worked out really well. It was a pretty smooth transition.
What was your hit list?
The hit list?
Like, what were you looking
Tallest
for?
building in town.
Yeah.
It had to be that.
I really wanted an old building that we could, you know, reuse and turn into a brewery. I really wanted a bigger system, so we didn't have to worry about trying to do a brew every day. We could do a supply for the demand. Really wanted to work with Ben and Tony, so I got that. And be a place where people can walk and be a part of the community. And so we found a place that people can walk and be a part of the community. So we're really excited about working with local Lions Club, working with, you know, the Alcoholic Association, the schools, and so we really found that spot we wanted and loved. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you, because of your capacity, you put beer out at other places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we actually we hit the Philly market 2 months ago.
Yeah, about 2 months ago. So we're on tap down there about 5 or 6 different places.
Wow.
You know,
All over
Lancaster
County, up in the Berks.
Yeah.
We actually just had a tap takeover up at the Reading Beer Crons last night. So put 6 beers on. I got to stand there and talk to people as they came in, try it. So that was awesome. Yeah, we loved it.
I mean, that's a lot of places for.
Starting to only get here.
That's us running around and talking to people, and you know, we deliver the beer, and you know, we have those personal relationships that we always wanted, and we're doing it. So,
Well, I would assume at this point in time, and like I say, I've been in here, but you're inside. I have a feeling your inside of this building isn't anywhere where you hope someday it's going to be. whether that be you're busy doing other stuff or people just haven't called on that you're open. But I know, your dining area over here, you got a lot of room in this. And I don't have any idea what's upstairs, but I mean, it's part of the building. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all part of the building, and it's, like I said, this front room right here has been great for us. And nice long bar, got plenty of seating. So it's what it's allowed us to do is just have this back room here, not be used to a true dining room, just an event space.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad thing. Like you said, if you're working with a Lions Club and school, somebody can come in and sort of feel like they have a private space back there, and you can still have your people off the street in this room.
Right. And I love it's a lot like Office Mills. That house with Clyde, and being able to see all the things. See the process.
Going to a brewery. That's people want to feel like they're a part of the brewery. I mean, that's where the magic happens. So people want to see it. They want to be able to feel it, touch it. And Ben's brewing today, so they're going to walk in and smell that. Like that's going to be, that immerses them in that experience.
Right.
Come to a brewery.
We got speaking of that, and I'm not trying to throw a plug for anybody else at this point, but, and maybe that Kevin Boots. He took us, well, not Paul, me, my wife, and a friend of ours. I've known him since I've done trivia years ago, and ever since I knew the guy, he kept saying, hey, I want this building, I want this building. And finally, he said, okay, why don't we just come up and look at it? And he took us on the whole tour of that building. We got to, like every time we passed the brew tanks, we got to tap a beer out of it. And we were there like I thought I'm going to go up and he's going to say, okay, here's what we're planning to do here. And I'm going to be out of it. We were there 2.5 hours walking around every nook and cranny. It is a big building up there. And them guys, I mean, they do a lot of that themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's unreal.
Kevin, Henry, Mike, Dave, I mean, they just
their vision of the place.
Yeah.
If they come anywhere close to doing everything they want at that place, it'll be the Disney World of breweries.
Yeah.
I mean, they got space, they got, but it's going to take a lot of.
I was fortunate enough to be there right when they started their planning, so before anything was done, it was scary. There were holes everywhere.
Well, there's still areas of that building that are like, or the way they were back in whenever. But awesome. I think their little pub area, they were hoping to open that this fall yet. Now I haven't talked to him for a couple months, so I don't know exactly where.
I need to talk to them. I'll let you know.
Okay.
They had a little keg washer. Kevin was going through it, helping me figure out what was wrong.
But we went in and we got to see, like when we were there, they were actually, brewing beer and they had their bottling line set up. And he gave me a couple of 6-packs of beer that got only like 3/4 full.
Those are the best beers. Can't sell them, see, might as well.
But there's a place that's got a ton of room.
It's awesome.
And then you have we actually did a podcast from Compass Mill a couple weeks ago with Clyde, and he's don't have a lot of room.
It's a tight space.
And he apparently according to him, Pierogi Shop's building its own building on that property, and he's going to absorb that space, which will give him at least twice the space.
And that you bring up, you work with the guy he's talking about. What we found was very interesting that you guys are a tight-knit group, brewery to brewery. You're not in competition.
That's been the biggest thing is to try to get people to understand how different it is in the brewer community, because it is so supportive and so respected, and it's been amazing. It really is not competition. I mean, the brewers world, they really understand that rising tide lifts all ships.
So actually, Sean, one of our other owners, is down in Nashville right now, doing some family things, but he's sitting in the airport at Tailgate Brewing, and they found out that he was common brewer, and so boom, they just started handing all these beers to drink.
That's a nice perk of the trade.
We're all right here.
As a matter of fact, I might just go in places, hey, don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a brewer.
Yeah, I went to New Orleans.
What your beer tastes like here?
Same thing. I went to New Orleans and I, flashed my card out there, my badge, and it was just like, oh, well, come back, let's have beers. So like, I love it. Yeah, that community. We have a very strong community here in Lancaster, and even up through Berks with Shaler.
Yeah.
And out to Lebanon, but it's just countrywide. I mean, brewers are a different breed, and it's
the last time we were in here, you had a brewer from Lancaster City and Miltonville.
yeah, that was such a crazy day.
You guys are a community, like, hey, come on over.
We get around, we drink each other's beers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
A lot of
and
research.
Yeah.
like early on, and I frequent Black Forest. I mean, I can walk there from my house, and, I know Denise and Bob, like they're be my brother and sister. But early on, that's sort of what they conveyed is that, there's St. Boniface and then there's Poor Man's, and I said, do you ever when is there too many? And they said, well, no, that's the whole idea is there's only one brewer in northern Lancaster County. Nobody's going to make it a destination.
Right.
But if we can get enough breweries in the area, then people from out of town, maybe even out of state, will come and stay for the weekend to try everyone out. But one brewer is not going to bring people in, right? And so that was their mentality is, hey, the more the merrier, because we'll all benefit from that.
Yep.
And,
Beercation is a real thing. It's something
Yeah.
that's awesome. So, and when people come in here, we send them down towards Poor Man's, Black Forest, and same thing. They send them up this way. So it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fortunate thing. I mean, because depending what your business is, you might be like, I'm sure there's some businesses where, well, you don't want to go down there. They suck.
Bankers.
But no, that's very commendable, you brewery guys. But you understand the fact that it takes more than one brewer to draw a crowd to the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you talk about the beers that you make, the beers on your list, and do we know?
I do.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen!
Oh, let her get on camera.
Would you like, you don't even know what other beers you got from know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have another Reamstown.
Reamstown? Awesome.
Yes, and we can talk about.
Yeah, so it's kind of, our motto was traditionally abstract. So we love traditional lagers, traditional beers, and then what we like to do though is add kind of a twist with some of those beers. So our dark Kolsch was one.
That was
Straight true to style Kolsch, but then we added some dark malt in there, so it gave it, it was black, but still super crushable, super easy drinking. That was a really fun one. That went over very well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Because a lot of people will skim the menu real quick, and they're like, "I'll give you a Kolsch," and they're expecting that really bright beer. And I almost laughed at, as I set it down, because I could see it coming. Set that down, and they're like, "No, I wanted to go and then, but it's great because they lift it up and they taste it, and they're like, "Oh, this is not what I expected, but this is great."
Right. Yeah.
Did you have that on last week?
We did. We had it on as special for.
Yes,
we had an
I
ice
had
trap
that.
last week.
That is very good.
Yeah, I miss it already.
I'll tell you what I really did like, and in fact, I bought a bottle of it when you had you still had it, but might have been the first day you had the
The Rainy City.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah.
I didn't open my bottle at home.
It was very fun. Come on. Greg your tails.
There goes your tip.
I'll flag you.
That's all right. We'll get back.
Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, the Rainy City. Yeah,
And that,
barrel aging.
and like I say, and again, I'm not cutting any of your beers down, but for my own taste buds, when I came in last week, I saw the barrel aged, whatever that's called, the one near the bottom.
The Stagecoach.
Yeah. And I thought, I'll try that. And my own fault, I didn't read the fine print on the menu there, and I tasted it. To me, like I'm not a gin guy.
Yeah.
And it's really don't taste like bourbon. But then I read the thing, oh, well, no wonder. I was just too anxious to get it.
Yeah.
But I assume if you're a fan of gin, it was probably really good. I mean, I drank it, I didn't give it back.
No, it's done really well for us, and like Jim's saying, it's fun to twist things up a little bit because, like you said, everybody naturally assumes as soon as they see barrel
I assume
it's going to be like a whiskey or bourbon. I mean, so to get a gin barrel in here and have some fun with that.
That's it. I don't know that I don't know that I ever would have ordered it anywhere, but I don't know that I've ever seen that anywhere.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. We actually had a
If I did, I would have avoided it.
No, it's really different. It's kind of unique, and we actually had a wine bar down in Philly that was really excited. She had tasted it, and she was like, "Yeah, I need a whole case of this. This is like."
Well, no, Paul's wife is a big fan of gin, and I told her last Friday night when we went out to eat. I said, it wasn't my favorite, but I said you really like that gin because.
It's different, yeah. It's got that gin. There's a little bit of that barrel oakiness. There's like a little bit of funkiness to it. Yeah. Can we get a Reamstown Pales over here, Nancy? Oh yeah. Thanks, Jen. Yeah, so that was awesome. And actually, the gin barrels came from Brandy Wine Distillers, and then the Rainy City actually came from Thistlefinch. So it sticks within our, trying to build that community with local distillers for their barrels. Yeah, actually, we have a bucket of some oak staves coming from Mount Hope that's been soaking in some of their Cabernet Sauvignon. So we're going to use that and something coming up too. It's
like when you flavor or do anything with beer that isn't like just plain old beer.
Yeah.
Like, do you put? Well, there was a time where I had a beer. It was from somewhere in Lebanon, and it was supposed to be like you were eating a pretzel.
Okay.
And weirdly enough, when you first drank it thought it tasted like a pretzel. But later on, it was like, feels like I ate a pretzel.
Yeah.
But do they just throw pretzels in the tank, or like how do you get that flavor?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. Like, I'm trying to think. So a Hefeweizen, we taste bananas and clove, and everyone always asks, "Oh, did you add bananas and clove?" Yeah. No, we did. It's a wheat grain bill. It's two-row, and then the yeast actually gives off a banana and clove effervescence, and that's what gives a lot of beers their flavor. So that chocolate comes from the grain itself. It's malted just to that right point where you have chocolate notes and rose.
That's good to know because I just all these funky flavors. I think they're just back there. Adding imitation, whatever to it.
Well, like, so the mango, raspberry, that is fruit. We couldn't get that. Although there are hops that give that too. So a lot of the New England IPAs, if you taste that fruit, the pineapple, the stone fruit, citrus, that's all hops. I mean, that's
really,
unless it says, with tangerine or with something added. Wow, that's all the hops that are. It's a
so there's
So
there's a bunch of, like, when you go to buy your hops, there's a whole catalog of choices.
Yeah. There's dozens of companies local. There's Fawn Hill. There's Heidelberg hop. There's lots of local hops, and then there's also middle through Germany. Like, that's the amount of hops. Mount Hood hops are all Oregon, so and they get different things from different regions too. It's in the soil, it's in their climate. It's incredible. I mean, and even if you're trying to stick to German purity laws,
that's cars.
Yeah. So you stick to Reinheitsgebot, and you can still do that with your hops, which is just such a wide variety. You can get flavor and aroma and bitterness. I mean. Like I said, it's a beautiful time to be alive.
So, and I'm not trying to, and maybe the terminology, but to get all them different kind of hops, did they like crossbreed hops like they do? I mean,
it's a matter of crossbreeding, combining different ones. I mean, to make a new strain.
Right.
Like Citra is actually, it's trademarked. It's owned by someone. So when someone says Citra, it is Citra brand. There's no substitute for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's
one thing that's interesting. Why it is very interesting is the registering of beer.
Yeah.
And now you have to register it, and you have to name it, and nobody can else use that name, and the ingredients. And
and that's Yeah, I mean, registering, I just did a bunch of registers yesterday. So with the state and then also with the federal government, if you want to have a label, you have to register that. If you're adding any kind of adjunct to your beer, in some cases you have to have formula approval also. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it besides just taking the beer.
The whole,
Don't get me started.
make a shitload of rules and make all these people follow it.
Yep.
And then every time they come up with a new name, they're gonna have to pay us whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to complain here.
A little different.
That's what it is. It's a part of the process. I love everything we do in Pennsylvania. It is what it is. I mean, you just roll with it. You stay compliant.
Well, you knew it going
That's what
in.
it is. Yeah,
Exactly. It wasn't like they caught you blindside.
No, I knew I had reports and all that
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
taxes, and then you're done.
Now, is there, in order to brew beer, like any facility like this, do you have to get I'm gonna say like a certificate that you know what you're doing? Or,
No.
not like a food handling certificate, like,
You don't have to prove that you can brew beer, but you do have to get a license that shows that you are able to brew beer, like in a facility, and you're able to do it safely, and you're able to make sure that a consumer is able to drink it safely.
okay.
So they do have to come in, do inspections, and you do have to get licensing, and you have to renew that license, and they come in and do random inspections.
Okay.
Department of Health, Department of Ag. There's a lot of strict. It's very strict, actually.
Well, I guess, rightfully so, because you get some yahoo brewing something and half the bar goes home and dies because there's something in it.
I mean, it's different. Like a brewery, you can drink shit beer and it is what it is.
Right.
But like somebody that's working in a distillery,
Right.
you can make someone go blind.
Yeah,
So it's way more strict.
Right.
And like a lot more following processes with that.
Well, I trust that you guys do it first.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What?
Where are you, Paul? So as far as food goes, you started out with, like you said, a couple bags of chips, or
Yeah, the first day.
and now your menu is decent.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's been
Yeah,
it's been a fun evolution of the menu. Now we have a full menu. Soup to nuts, everything's on there. But it's kind of funny. One of the first items was almost a kind of a rush. We got into an event at Grandview Winery, Beans and Brews, and we got signed up for it. Like, hey, we're signed up for this. And it's like, what is it? It's bean and brew. What does that mean? Well, we need to bring our beer and some chili. Who likes chili? What do you mean? But James's wife has a great family recipe, and so we put the chili together and did so well. We had some left over. Like, all right, well, I guess we'll put this on the menu. And it's one of the first items that we had, and still today, it's one of our best selling items.
Even through the hot summer.
Yeah,
We were slamming bowls of chili. I didn't know we were chili brewers.
We thought we were going to have to take a break, and like, all right, well, at least we'll get a break from making chili, because it's a small batch, it's made, in-house, it's really fresh, it's really delicious, and then every week, middle of July, we need more chili.
20 quarts of chili a week. It's wild. But it's good. I still eat it too.
But like you say, there's sometimes that where you're faced with, okay, we need chili. That urgency causes you to maybe step outside the box and you just do what you gotta do.
It's great. And then almost a smash burger.
That's how it came about, the smash burger.
The smash burger was kind of funny because we're making so much chili and we're buying all this meat, and then there's this little bit of burger that's left over every week, and it's like, what do we do with this? And a really good friend of ours, Big Jim, was like, Big Jim, Southfield, said, why don't you try smash burger? And we made the smash burger, and boom, that thing took right off.
That's what I've had. A couple times I've eaten food here, that's what I've had every time.
Yeah, your food is great. Yeah, we try and stick pricing beer and food. We try and make it appetizing and affordable. Everybody's going through what we are too. So it's
well, right. But I do think I think there's that fine line between the pricing. If I keep my price this level, I'm not gonna make near as much per beer, but I'm gonna sell a lot more beer.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, at the end of the month, I have the same amount of money, but I shared it with a lot more people.
Yeah.
And by keeping my price in a reasonable range, you know, I didn't lose customers that decided, well, these guys trying to pull here. You know?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not trying to pull anything.
Well, no.
Except for heartstrings.
Yeah, right, but you know, I always pictured in a, and I'm not a food service beer guy, but in any business, if you can sell, I mean, that's why dollar stores make money. They don't make a lot on any item, but they sell a shitload of items.
Yep.
And I don't see that would be any different in selling beer.
Yeah.
If you can sell 100 and make $1, that's the same as selling one and making $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to pricing, that's, you know, often a discussion is, you know, where's the comfortable price point for it, because we don't want to alienate anybody, but we, you know.
Well, you still got to make a living.
We
We're
still
still trying to
pay
pay.
electric bills.
And people have to understand that too.
And that's like, that almost brings us back to the food part of it, because, you know, we are making some amazing, delicious, you know, quality beer, and we always, you know, we want to keep the menu simple, but like, I'm not going to serve you this amazing craft beer and then here's your McDonald's cheeseburger.
Right.
Like, you know, let's have the food mimic the beer a little bit, and it is simple, it is quality, and it rotates. You know,
Yeah.
You don't have to change things.
Keep it craft, San
You
Diego.
know,
Yeah.
craft San Diego.
Yeah.
That's what we like to say around here. So, yeah. So,
Serving now.
Yeah.
Keep it craft, San Diego.
Craft San Diego.
Hey, you want to throw on one of those bird shirts?
Oh, yeah.
And come and say hi.
He's got it, yeah, so his, gotta get you wanna talk about his history, or you want him to talk about his?
I haven't got this
I've been on for a little while, but I'll let him talk about it.
I'd like to get him in here.
No, I think he's
working really hard out back here.
He's bored off him right now, so he's got a couple
Now
seconds.
while he's doing whatever he's doing, your space that is your event space. If somebody wants to give you guys a call and say, hey, we want to do this.
So what you want to do is you want to email Tony at rollcitybeer.com and I'll hook you up.
There you go.
Yeah, no, the event space has been really great. We do
That's nice.
so I was going to plug it.
Yeah.
Just want to set me up there.
I got your back.
Too much much closer.
No, but the event space is great. I mean, it's, you know, we also have the ability to set up, you know, you can use our menu. If you want to have it catered, that's fine. We're flexible with that.
No outside beer though.
Right.
No.
We have cornhole tournaments back there. We have a murder mystery dinner back there. We have escape room coming up. You know, so it's a very versatile kind of space. Every Sunday morning we have yoga back there. So it's really comfortable. You know, I mean, anywhere like probably upwards of like max is probably comfortable at like 50.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
If you get bigger than that, then you probably look somewhere else. But no, it's
As
nice.
long as you don't want to
Standard,
stand.
right, yeah. It's been really, a lot of people enjoy the space, and it's semi-private, it's closed off on this side.
Yeah.
You get to look at the brewery, see the tanks, the windows back there give a great light, and
Yeah, it's
been
pretty sweet.
a lot of fun.
You get that feel that you're still in the building,
Yeah.
and yet you're separated from general,
The general
and
yeah.
admission. But yeah, Sundays, I actually didn't tell you, we're going to start doing, we're trying to figure it out based on interest, but cornhole's coming back. You know, all of the big tournaments are kind of rocking, you know, slowing down because of the weather.
Right.
So Sundays we're going to either do every Sunday, every other Sunday, or that's pretty much the only option. But I'm really excited about that because every once in a while I get to play.
Oh, there you go.
And
should be good.
speaking of that, I've noticed that in very unique here, you've got a little game you can play.
Yeah.
All over here.
I saw Rock and Sock and Robots.
Yeah.
Rocket robots, yeah.
I used to have that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We all like to play games. We actually have the old Nintendo system set up.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Part of it comes from trying to bring back the original feel of the public house.
Yeah.
Like everybody came and you got to know each other, you know, and that's why when you come in to Roll City, you don't see 10 TVs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You it's whenever you come in, I always look down around the bar and I see all these people communicating, talking to people that didn't come in with.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's,
I love it.
and that's, well, that's actually how this whole podcast idea came, because we would spend every Friday afternoon at the bar at Black Forest, and there would, there'd be something regular on Friday, and there'd be people from wherever. And we would just sit there and everybody would talk.
Yeah.
And we thought, that's what we want this to be. There's no script, no rehearsal, just like people sitting down and talking about whatever comes to mind. And so yeah, that's what I really like about these hometown places that have. I mean, it's nice when you have your regular crowd, because they're the people that start to instigate the conversation.
That's right.
If you're going to, and I'm just going to pull, like say Greenfield Inn, most of the people there aren't, like they don't necessarily have a regular crowd. It's people there to eat, sit at the bar to a table, or tourists, whatever.
Yeah,
so you never get that hometown feel. But all these local breweries, you got your people, and every other one has their people. But if strangers come in, they're like welcomed into the group. And that's what's really cool, really. I mean,
and that's one of the reasons that we love the location, because we're really tucked in the community, and right out of the gate we have tons of great regulars. I want to say names, but I don't want to skip over somebody.
Well, right.
Somebody gets jealous.
Yeah.
He talked about Sam and Joe. Where the hell is that?
What we do, we're a really great community, and they're very supportive, and like a lot of times they'll be sitting at the bar and they'll notice that somebody new is here. And they'll reach out to them like, hey, what brought you here? And they'll advocate for us. They don't have to say anything. We've got really great regulars.
And that's the neatest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of times at Black Forest where I get told by the niece, use your niece. I don't know that everybody in here needs to know that.
No, you're use your outside voice. Go ahead. People will chime in and be like, hey, I heard you.
I made more friends in my life at a bar than anywhere else. I mean, not just people that some you might only have ever talked to for an hour, and there's some that you know the rest of your life. It's really neat.
So is there any story with the Superman at the top of the
Well, when the impeller's going, he flies.
I saw
we're brewing if he's soaring.
So when he stops, you got an issue.
Or we're just shut down for a bit. Most likely it's an issue. Damn it.
Superman needs a break.
That's right. I saw a little fan up, so his cape flaps.
No, it's just fun to have some little character around, and it's kind of funny too. Because the Superman is kind of new, but it's been here from day one. And you guys can't see us off camera there, but on the Nitro tap is a Spider-Man arm, which started out as kind of just a joke. Somebody threw it up there one day. The kids were here, and it actually got moved around a little bit, and then it went away. And then it was weird how many customers where's the arm? Where's the Spider-Man arm? And
my friendly neighborhood Nitro.
So we were like, okay, I guess we'll put this back up. And everybody was like,
that's the neat thing.
It's nice to have a little bit of character, in the building. Because it is an old building. We want to bring that character, that nuance to it. But finding that midway point where it's not just great challenging. It's somebody's man cave, all the weird stuff hanging out, but fun little elements like that.
Retro bar. But mine isn't.
I do love that. I'm trying to think, what bar did we go in? There's a bar in Auburn.
No, it's a winery. Long Track. That's where my basement is sort of, it's not near to the degree that is, but that's where I got the idea for my basement.
Oh,
I didn't want to hang a bunch of beer signs and a bunch of sports stuff. But when I went there the first time, I thought, this is the neatest place ever.
Organized chaos, you know what I mean?
But just old rock posters and black light posters. I just thought that was the coolest place on earth.
You do need something hanging out to, for some conversation starters and such. So that's been kind of fun. And there's actually some hidden elements around. If you looked over real quick, you'd be like, oh, okay. but if you look close enough, you'll
see
find
little.
little
Yeah,
fun
it's,
stuff.
You guys are fun like that.
Yeah. I would actually challenge people. I would actually challenge people to find the hear no evil, see no evil monkey.
It took me weeks. It took me weeks.
Really?
And I'm here every single day.
Yeah. So there's some fun little things around.
And it's in the public area here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Balance.
Yeah.
well, one thing, and I know this, I mean, this sort of issue, I'm going to say sort of with my wife a lot of times. You guys do serve more than beer. You're
Yes.
allowed to serve PA-made liquor and wine.
Yeah.
And you at least have some selection of that.
Yeah. That was Tony's big thing. I'm just concerned with the beer. Let's make sure we have good beer, make sure we have
But
beer.
not
for
everybody's
taste.
a beer drinker.
No, right.
Yeah.
And so Tony kind of definitely took the lead on that and made contacts with local, and yeah, you can take that.
Yeah. So
He knows better than me.
no, and you know, again, going back to the community, we want everybody to come and be welcome. You know, like yes, we are a brewery, but just because blank doesn't drink beer doesn't mean there's not something here for them.
Right,
You know?
and that's important.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we did
Because
it.
my wife is like that.
Yeah.
She's not a beer drinker.
Yeah.
A beer for every palate, and then
Yeah.
a drink for every customer too.
You know, and the same thing, like with everything, continue with the quality. You know, we don't serve well liquors here. Like the liquors that I've gotten are premium. You know, the wine that we have is some of the best wine in Pennsylvania. You know, so when you come here, you're gonna get like, I didn't just run out and be like, oh yeah, that's a wine. Okay, we're good.
All right. You did a little
Like,
research.
Yeah, get around, and so like the spirits and the wine you get here are of quality. You know, you don't have to suffer and sacrifice. Well, my spouse wants to go have a beer, so I guess I'll sip on this. You know,
Right.
Our smoked old fashioned has been. I don't know if I can say
It's an
flagship,
experience.
but, like,
I don't know.
yeah,
I think we've gone that long. People love it.
No, it's really.
Well, there are a lot of,
It's
I
great.
mean, there are a lot of people that, you know, beer isn't, and my wife doesn't necessarily dislike beer, but like, for her to drink a 16-ounce beer, she's like bloated.
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
so she prefers, you know, a cocktail or even a glass of wine.
Yeah.
The seltzer.
Yeah.
Yes, well, she's not a seltzer, she don't like carbonation,
Yeah.
so she's not a seltzer.
It's the carbonation, the burps.
Yeah, well, just that fizziness she don't really care for.
But yeah, so I mean, the cocktail menu is always changing, always evolving. You know, we're trying to keep things fresh and stuff like that. You know, seasonal. You know, we have. You know, that's one of the reasons that the gin we use is great because you know, Brandy Wine over there makes a seasonal gin, so that kind of rotates around. So we have different gins throughout the year. It's been another actually, and then this weekend we're gonna have caramel apple cider. So it'll be a hot drink, you know, so you'll have the cider and we found Hazards makes a salted caramel whiskey. So you know, top that off with it. So it's been fun. It's been, you know, again, it's craft. I don't have a full bar here, so you know, which is fine because you can go get a vodka cran anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, but here you're gonna get a premium cocktail made with people who care about your cocktail.
Premium vodka.
Premium.
It's a premium, baby.
I'm not a connoisseur anything, like my go-to, if I go to the liquor store, many times I settle for the $9 plastic bottle of Old Crow. But I gotta live within my budget.
That's right.
Our podcast, our budget is nothing and our income is nothing.
Then you sent me, we didn't get that check, did we?
No, we didn't.
It's in the mail.
Well, half the reason is I can't afford to pay my employees because they hardly ever show up on time.
That's funny, because he thinks it all in his employees.
That's nice.
That's very nice. I'm retired. Nobody my boss. That's why.
And it sort of
They
sucks.
show up like just to piss him off.
That's right.
It shows up.
You can't.
It shows up. Yeah. What am I gonna do? I can't withhold his paycheck.
So is your brother ready?
I think so.
Oh, he's still getting his work.
He's hit lots of cameras.
Just a second.
Yeah, he did.
You know, I gotta. This has been great, guys, but I gotta get some stuff.
All right, I'll get you
I'm
out.
gonna slide out of here, and hopefully Ben will be in just a second. But yeah, while I'm up, I'm gonna get to work.
Cheers. Tony, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
It was a blast.
thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
So what else we got?
I don't know what time it, I mean, I don't even know when we started. And
I don't even know either.
We're almost
How long do you guys run these?
Usually an hour at the most.
Oh, nice. All right.
Well, here, I can check, I'll look at our little clock. We're at 55 minutes.
Oh, sweet. We got some time. Another beer.
Oh, we actually have all day.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, not Paul.
Here he comes.
He's got a phone call on.
Well, you want a beer? Get yourself a beer, Ben. We have plenty of time. And actually, while you're out, just push pause, right?
No, this is all, it's all part of it. And we don't, if I would start editing stuff, then I have to get paid. That's like too much work.
It's a lot of work. And we will continue here shortly.
Get refills.
Refills.
The real perk of the real reason why we pick where we pick.
To keep you fueled.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said this is the 32nd episode,
Yes.
right?
And now we didn't do last week because, well, number one, the main reason is we didn't have any guests lined up. But the other thing is we didn't try real hard. I actually sort of, it wasn't, I came up with the idea and I had a bunch of help, but we gave away 430-ish free meals over to Denver last Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to go pick some stuff up for that. And
Awesome.
it went well.
That's
And,
awesome.
Well, Paul's wife helped out. But, so, I mean, if we would have had a guest lined up, we would have did it, but we didn't, so we just did,
early business, so it's right now.
That's great.
but
That's great.
it was really weird. We told the general manager earlier, when we started this, if we would have had a guess, how many guests would ever decide to join us? We would have guessed somewhere between 0 and 1. And then we started it because we thought, well, it's going to be me and him in my basement. We're going to talk that crap, and it's going to last a couple weeks, and nobody's going to care, and then we're going to move on. And then, like, all of a sudden, like from week 1, really, well, week 1 it was just us, but then from then on, like, people sort of came out of the woodwork, and we had, you know, people with all sorts of backgrounds, not all business owners.
Right.
Like a lady who has a daughter with autism, and she talked about how to get help for that.
Oh, wow.
What her life is like having that daughter.
So that was my question, yeah.
We had musicians. We had,
That's awesome.
we had, well, when Poor Man's had a fundraiser for, I can't remember the guy's name, but his son was killed in an accident. Out from Waco.
Yes.
Kind of those
I remember that,
country
yeah.
salt pretzels. But anyway, Dean Pierce came on.
Yeah.
And brought us salt pretzels and beer, and we talked about the fundraiser. We actually had the dad of the boy that was killed in the car accident on FaceTime.
Yeah.
He couldn't make it, but he was on FaceTime. And we had, what else did we have? Just some people out of the community that girl has like a chronic semi-terminal illness, and she talks about that.
Yeah, so you really do everyone across the board.
So yeah, it's not, we're not locked into a brewery or anything.
I like history.
Yeah.
History of the whole area, you know, and, you know, so that was
We're archaeologists.
So yeah, right. I like history part of it, of where we grew up, and then on the other side is to promote local businesses who are successful, good people, and love to give them advertisement as we possibly can.
Cheers to that. Yeah, cheers to
We,
that. And a big welcome to Ben.
I just actually said,
Man, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Welcome. Absolutely.
you're his brother.
I am your brothers, yes.
Yeah, not twins.
No, I'm 8 years apart. Yeah.
Really?
Younger. Yeah. I look great. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm mad that you brought that up. I do have to ask you, because you graduated from Millersville. How old are you? I mean, because honest to God, you look like you're 35.
So I'm 37.
Oh,
Which is pretty good, because usually I'm home at my age, so. I'm 37, my wife reminds me.
Yeah.
You're young.
I'm 29.
I don't even remember 29.
Big business. It's
It's
crazy.
a lot going on.
A lot going on. It's a big shirt too.
That's good.
See, you want to...
Go Birds!
And Phillies today. Yeah, go Phillies.
Thanks for coming on.
I
You've
know.
been busy in the background and.
Yeah, it's been a weird morning for us. So.
This brew got pushed back 2 days. So it's good that he's able to get back there. I mean, I'd rather have him here next to talk. My wingman over here.
Goose brewing
So
Mixed
when you-
Village today.
So when you, I mean, it goes back years that you started homebrew.
Yeah, I mean, we've known
Was
each
he
other
like
for a while.
12 when you started?
Almost first.
I was 18.
18, but so he didn't partake. He just,
Oh, right,
he just
yeah.
did the process.
Yeah.
I let him try the wort, you know.
Yeah, it's really good. Good work.
Sweet stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since we homebrewed. But
Yeah, the last time we homebrewed, we did right before we opened, we did it for a wedding, a family wedding. We just did that, and then like 2 months later, we opened here. It was just like, holy hell! Yeah. Pedal to the metal system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, but like I say, you throw yourself in there and you find out you can do more than you thought you could do when push comes to shove.
Yeah. I mean, we've turned into electricians, plumbers, carpenters. Fluid dynamics.
Cooks.
Chefs.
But at the end of the day, you're your own boss.
Yes. Yeah. So if I feel like not coming in, I still do.
Well, right. You can drink the product.
Yeah.
You're not making widgets.
In moderation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tony brought something up very interesting. He's like, yeah, you gotta have the full beer.
Yeah. He's trying. Everybody saw that. He's trying. He's doing a decent job. I won't knock a man down because
You got the full thing going.
Yeah.
well, let's get rid of it someday.
I'm doing a mustache. Now it's on record. I'm doing a mustache this week.
This
We're working
week?
on Ben's truck. And I burned most of the beard off right here.
Oh,
So
That smelled good.
hair and like that. Yeah. So I told Ben, yeah, I'll do a mustache. For you.
For November.
For November. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's next week.
Yeah, Tuesday.
But
Nice.
yeah, sorry for.
Oh, no, that's all right. Like we said from the get-go, your main goal is to keep your own business going, not be on this podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out.
We
Saw that.
we have till Monday morning, I think.
Something else going on.
Yeah, sweet. All right, so we got time.
Yeah. So he went and he explained everything where he came from. And,
Oh, cool.
Like, so. And
Yeah.
I was gonna do it for
Yeah, he was gonna do it for you. Like, no, maybe I shouldn't.
So kind of just been following James around for a while since I was a kid. So yeah, I went to Millersville.
Well, you followed him to school?
Pretty much. Yeah.
8 years behind.
So
Professor
You have to live up to his legacy.
Yeah.
Well, that's my older brother. I moved up to theirs. It's this whole. There are 7 of us growing up.
So there's more than just you two.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Seven
that's your
of us.
sister.
Yeah. So there's 5 boys and 2 girls.
Yep. So we all had to follow in each other's footsteps.
Are any of the others somehow involved in this, or
Oh yeah. I mean, our sister.
is married?
She comes and helps bartend and food run. Our other sister helps us with events, like special events.
Okay.
Our younger brother helps us with special events, and he's a welder, so he helps us with
Oh, okay.
things like that. One of our older brothers helps us on a fun level where he does a lot of video games and things like that. So
Okay.
he's helping us actually rebuild one. And
Okay.
then our oldest brother, he actually helped us do all the emergency lighting. He's more like helping us with the electrical.
The outdoor lighting.
How old is the oldest?
8 years older than me. So I'm 46, 45.
Oh, he just turned 45 this year.
45?
Yeah.
All right, so you got 40, are you the youngest?
I'm young.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big range of kids.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
lot, yeah.
So you
Are your mom and dad still living?
I'm 16,
After
yeah.
all that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm
No, we
16
were,
years younger than Dan.
we were a handful.
Yeah.
What does your mom and dad still live above Allentown?
No, they actually moved out Midwest.
Oh.
They were just like, I'm tired.
Once these kids are out here, we're out here.
Yeah, so they moved out west.
Yeah, they're in Oklahoma. But yeah, so anyway.
Yeah.
Follow James around.
yeah,
Is that
That was
Millersville?
good. Got a
I was,
GIS degree.
yeah. Nah, yeah, I'll just go back there.
So you're a map maker.
Yeah, not quite, but probably newer maps, GIS. I haven't done it in a while, but it's still like really cool to use.
So
you
you
can use it in anything. You can use it in a bar level to all the way out in fields.
Right, video games to, I mean,
Military to video games.
I've gotten involved in archaeology actually too, doing some of the mapping, so I'd go out to the field, we would create maps, or they were doing maps in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So
It was pretty cool.
Well,
yeah.
and, you know,
Do you drive around in the Google map car?
Yeah, I wish. Usually just using a GPS and scanning stuff, but I did do some archaeology as well.
in the police department, in the drones that they use, okay, like if there's a fatal crash, we'll program in the drone, exactly mapping of what video to take. So
Wow. That's crazy.
so
That is really cool as well.
yeah.
I'm sure they use that now. My buddy that I went to college with, he's a GIS, and he's actually in GIS down in Richmond, and he actually got his drone pilot license, so he
Yeah.
can do all that stuff.
Oh, that's sweet.
I got my pilot's license. I actually do have my pilot's license.
Do you too?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so cool. But yeah, so left college, or graduated college anyway. Did archaeology for a while. James jumped out of his career, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing that too. So jumped out of it. Well, no, I mean, I started at Iron Hill when I was in college, and I was trying to get into their group program. Tried that 3 times, never gave me a job, but Pim down in Mad Chef, he used to work there, and he was like, yeah, I want him to work for me. And one of the higher ups just didn't hire me, so it's fine.
That's
But
no grudge.
I was like, all right. So, got out of that, went to Chatty Monks. They gave me an opportunity. I left them, went to Mad Chef, worked with Sean and Rob. Rob's from our town and Sean's from Raymond Cellars. Both really great dudes. And then probably about almost 2 years into working at Mad Chef, Pim actually came on as the head brewer, so I still got to work with him. So it was really cool. So learned a lot from those guys, and finally came here. So now I'm learning more here. I'm just like, it's a lot.
It doesn't problem solve websites.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but it works. We make it work. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I was talking about our business plan and how we're searching for places. We knew we wanted to be in Lancashire County, but we looked up in Berks, we looked over in Lebanon, we looked everywhere, and then, we found here. I don't want to bore anybody with you.
No, that's part of why you're here.
Lots of yeah.
Go Birds!
Lots of business
Watch that court.
plans.
Thank you.
Is it black milk?
Hey Tony. But yeah, business plans have they're just like kind of liquid or static, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
It was kept changing every time we looked at a place. And finally here, it was like, okay.
Team spirit, it's just like,
And then COVID hit too. So
Well, yeah.
that COVID hit on the same day that we met with the broker, and then like 12 hours later, the world shut down. And it's just like, what? And so all the hours
Yeah, we know this place and we're not allowed to use it.
Zoom and like Google Meet.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is wild trying to build a business.
Yeah.
All through Google Meet and like trying to find investors through Google Meet, and I'm just like,
Well, but I mean,
shake my hand.
Yeah.
I swear, it's good.
I mean, it sucks, but I guess in the back of your mind and everybody's mind that made it through, all right, if we made it through that,
Yeah.
we should be able to weather just about anything.
We came out stronger. And,
Yeah, I mean, you adapted, you learned,
Yeah.
and used techniques you might have not ever thought of using.
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah, look at that.
Sorry, it's like,
That's all right.
Yeah, you know what, yeah, I told you earlier, he was spinning, yeah. Off he goes.
can you see him in the video?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Can you?
Look at
Oh, yeah, look, he's working. Look, he's back there on the ladder. He really didn't just leave, he's
He's over there. Yeah, so that's awesome. I didn't know you guys did such a range of interviews. So
We're open to anybody that wants to come on. We
Yeah.
actually, honestly, our first off-site, we were used to go to my basement, and our very first off-site podcast, and this was sort of through my wife and somebody she ran into when she was up in Massachusetts. We got invited to go to Maple Grove drag strip during Pep Boys Nationals. I've lived in this area my entire life, never even drove past Maple Grove. We got in there, they paid our way in, they picked us up in a golf cart, they took us to this drag race owner's trailer. We went in the trailer, did a podcast with, he was blind. He's still the crew chief.
the driver?
No, but he's a mechanic. He actually is blinded in, like, not from birth. He was in an accident. He was worked in an auto mechanic shop, like totally tired, blew up in his face. And he actually wasn't even supposed to live, but he did. But he can't see nothing. Although like, it was hard to tell he couldn't see.
Yeah.
But we sat there in his trailer and we did an interview. That was our first off-site thing.
That's awesome.
We also had a guy that
It was really neat to see. He actually worked on the engine.
yeah, no, he did.
He would actually feel the engine, and he would know where the wrench is. He would know the
Yeah.
size of how Crowley was set up.
And
And
he,
you could tell he was listening and praying.
and he owns this drag race team, but it's a non-profit organization. He goes around to schools and schools for the blind and does motivational speaking as well because of his.
Because he can, look, you can do this.
Yeah. If I can do this,
What?
yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's almost like,
Yeah.
what a,
And then we had another guy in the basement that also was, I'm going to say, not totally blind, but legally blind, can't drive. And he goes to China every year and teaches English as a second language in China.
yes, that's awesome.
So we really have had, like,
Killer.
and it's all local people and people that, I mean, I'm convinced everybody has a story.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are reluctant to tell their story, but it's amazing that these people live, within a mile of where my basement is. And if it was not for this podcast, they would have never stepped foot in the basement. We would have never heard their story. And so it really has turned out to be pretty cool. And I actually sent a message this morning. I don't know if they'll reply or reply with a yes, but to Jeff Zimmer, who is a local, they just won a down in Nashville album of the year or something. But she's played at the Reamstown Club.
That's awesome.
So that would be a musician for look for the second one. Yeah, we had Blake Killer on.
Sorry. Good.
All right, that's right. We got one. We're not looking to cause you to shut down.
No, that's cool. Obviously it's not. He's still doing it.
Yeah, keep moving, so
Yeah.
I forgot to set the kettle to boil, so it turned itself off.
So I assume on a normal day, this isn't as hands-on as this is.
I mean, it's very hands-on. I mean, I could probably walk away any other day, but today I'm
Trying to piece together.
But it's not 100% all of it.
No, it's more manual. This is, so we have a direct fire system. It's 15 barrels, 31 gallons per barrel, so roughly 450 gallons. So that's, let's talk beer.
Yeah.
So,
It's your show.
So I think you can see it. Yeah, okay, you can see it on there. That one on the left, that is actually our mash time. Ben dumped all the grain this morning, got up to 10 and converted all the starches into sugars. The issue that we had is actually transferring our mash over into our lauter time. So we had a jerry-rigger pump to make sure that we could get it into our lauter time. That's where you have your liquid separate from all your malt. And that's where you pull that liquid off, and then you eventually, you boil off and then lauter that back into the first kettle, which is our boil kettle also. So that's what Ben just did, or is doing right now. He had to run back and make sure that's where it also boils. That's where we had the hops. That's where we had, other kinds of adjuncts too. But today is takes a village, and so nice low bitterness, a lot of aroma. This is the second brew we've done of this. It's 7.8 roughly is what it was before, so that should be roughly the same. But and that's why Ben's babysitting it though. It's a lot of grain that goes into it, and it's delicate too. It has to be delicate on the palate, delicate on the nose. So it's one of those beers that you really have to watch. Ben's been killing it doing that. So. And then after that, we knock out, which knock out just means we drop the temperature rapidly through, we use well water, and then we actually have a glycol that we pull off and it work. And then I'll go over to one of our fermenters. We have
This is first live audience.
This is great.
This is the first live audience.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Questions.
And then it'll go back into the back and it'll ferment, and then we'll add more hops or dry hops again. And it'll give it that floral, that citrusy, that should be like a time. Timeline.
For this beer, we're using Boston bean because Boston yeast. That tends to ferment. That's probably fully in about 3 or 4 days. This will probably take about 4 days to explode. But it's explosive. I have to actually put our blow-off pump inside of a large trash can so it doesn't explode all day.
It's so active and so excited. It's just like,
it's crazy. I usually keep it down to like 95 degrees, usually with West Coast IPAs and Chico yeast is usually down at 68. So this is allows it to get down
with no other flavors. It's cool. I love it. We did a collaboration with Shaler, and we were doing a beer. I did replicating a boiler.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's
good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we're actually doing this beer for the Brew Fest competition out at school.
Are you taking roadies?
I think they're providing for it. So it's a play on a boiler, but use the Boston bean coin. I talked with yesterday. It was just like, yeah, here, I think it's done fermenting right now. We are so fast. It's Tuesday. It's a big beer. I guess a big beer.
I did too. I did this.
I saw
here.
It's like a hamburger, right? Round. Raisins in there. Cinnamon, orange peel, caramel. And then we talked about putting down some oat chips in there as well. So it should be it's gonna be a cool beer.
So with all the back and forth kind of thing between these tanks, if you're a home brewer in your garage, other than the tanks being smaller, it's exactly the same.
It's crazy. It's the same process. I mean, you're still converting your grain, your starches into your fermentable sugars. You're still pulling that liquid off. You're still boiling. You're still adding hops. You're still checking your gravities. I mean, it is the same process, which is really good if the brew system's this big.
Right.
That way, it's still pretty much the same amount of time. It's like 5 to 7 hour day still. Yeah, they drunk in your backyard.
Right.
Oh God, here it's like, alright, home brew again. It's like wobbling around. Here, if you're a little more precise. Yeah, make sure.
Let's now
More careful.
like, obviously your brews have different levels of alcohol. Is there a limit to could there, if you want it to be, a beer that is 40% alcohol? Or is there a limit to?
There is a limit. That would be a malt liquor. When you start talking about malt liquor for a city.
But a malt, like say, 45 malt, right, is that made in the same process, or is there?
Yeah, they use different ashes. They add like dextrose and a lot of corn goes into that. Just because it's high fermentable sugars, that does not impart extra flavor or color. So yeah, it's still the same process essentially. Sure, it's different.
But like for what we do here, what would be, like, what would you say the maximum alcohol level in a beer?
10% here. The highest we've done.
Maybe any regular beer.
Yeah. So it's like 18%. Yeah. 20%. What is utopia? Utopia is actually that ends up being more like a quart. That's 25% or something crazy. So you can actually pop that bottle of beer, drink some, put the cap back on, and it's like a liqueur.
So it's not going to be bad.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah. And it pours out like. I feel like I feel with the world record for alcohol and beer is held by it's held by the guys in Brewers. So they started across the pond, and now they have their place out in Ohio, but they might still hold the world record for the highest alcohol beer, which was called like Squirrel something. It was a squirrel bottle.
But
But it's probably pretty nuts.
Is the reason of the level of alcohol is determined by how long you ferment, or what determines that?
How many sugars can be eaten by the yeast? So there used to be an IPA out there just like 2 years ago. They called it a IPA. So they do the regular fermentation. I haven't made one before, but regular fermented. You either use a enzyme that eats down the rest of the sugars, or you do the shut down enzymes that usually eats down but we get in there. So yeah, it depends on what your yeast is hungry for, chaotic. You open up the door.
So it's more of yeast thing.
Yeah. Time is not a regular sense. So it goes your yeast, the specific strain can do a certain amount, 3 to 5%. Okay. So it comes down to the yeast and then your fermentable sugars also. So with that mashed in, I'm going to put 800 pounds of this in. I'm going to pull this much sugar, convert this much sugar out of it, and then that is what I'm aiming for, this original gravity. And then you take your original gravity, and then your yeast, you know what that's going to be able to kind of do, and then it gets down to your final gravity, and then you can calculate the final. But there is a science process of how you get that alcohol. It all starts from the brain, what you want to do. You can add dextrose or something to help boost or DME. So that'll add more sugar content because our system, we can probably do 11 to 1,200 pounds, but after that, you can't really fit much more grain in there. So you can add extra fermentable sugars with a higher a Belgian yeast strain that'll take you to a triple. Yeah. But yeast is just like, it's a living thing, obviously.
Right.
So
Which is weird.
it's very wild.
That is weird.
Luckily,
Even with making bread, it's
luckily humans.
Peter doesn't
After you're 30
Well, so you shouldn't imagine that. Because they might hear this, and now the next thing you know, we're not allowed to use the yeast anymore.
But yeast, I dry hopped due west about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks maybe. And I just finished it. It's in the tank right now, actually. It's hops actually had, I would assume, an enzyme or even just pockets of oxygen that actually kickstarted the yeast again. Even though I pulled the yeast out, there's still some yeast in suspension.
That's called hops. There's a lot of studies now on hops.
Diastasis is also another like word for it in some way, but it still like eats the sugars and then pops out CO2 and other things that you don't want.
And unfavorable.
Diacetyl, you can get diacetyl from doing that. Close your tank too early, crash too early. So yeah,
Let's just way more scientific.
There's a lot more.
How deep do you want it? But I mean, it's interesting to know that this isn't just you dump this in a tank and 3 weeks later this comes out.
Seltzer can do that.
Yeah. Legit.
Sorry.
Wrong way.
Yeah, we're, if you guys are, we're done.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just need to check something.
What is that? Hey, come back.
All right.
We'll sign off. And then,
Sign off. It's gonna be good. I have a cost on that. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. That's easy. All right.
Did the address, the hours are open?
Okay. Oh, yeah. So we are 6 North Reamstown Road. Just drive down into Reamstown from 272, look to the skies and you'll see us.
Yeah.
It's always
Future helicopter.
That's how it's gonna work on it. We right now we are open Thursday through Monday. Thursday, Monday, 4 to 9. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 11 to 9. Looking at adding Wednesday coming up for the next month. Pretty much coincides with our year anniversary. Yeah, we're bringing on some more team members.
Good.
And we're really looking forward to the future. We have Takes a Village is coming out today. Not today. Well, Brew today.
Brew today.
It's coming out
Takes a
today.
Village is on. We have a Saison coming out. Yep. We have Blonde Out. We're trying to release it today-ish, tomorrow-ish. And then Due West we have too. That's delicious if you like West Coast.
Yeah, full menu, event space on back, your holiday parties.
Yeah, there you go.
Or just go to play some board games and stuff.
Or rousing bout of rock and sock.
I know, we caught ourselves. We were playing the other day. It's like,
I had that.
and just a hot tip, the redhead pops up slower than the
I was gonna say, you want to choose blue.
Yeah, full food menu, full beer menu. We're always adding some stuff.
Cocktails available.
Smiles.
Who knows what the big church?
Oh yeah, go Birds.
Go Phillies.
Well, at least you have, I mean, I get no TV, but at least you got one TV. If somebody wants to watch
We have
the
one there, and we actually have one on the back.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. So you know, if you're hearing an Eagles game or a Phillies game is on, you are able to watch.
We got that sports.
Yes.
Yep. Sports is a random
Game shows or whatever. All right, well, I'd like to thank these guys. I know they had some issues, and that's no problem on our end. They got to keep their business going, and me and Paul, we're just, we do this for the fun. So,
So you guys have a slide on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did we practice it?
I don't know. What's our sign off?
Oh, it's building a Reamstown.
Excellent.
It's better as goes there.
Sign off.
Sorry for being awkward.